There are very few things in this life that bring me back to my childhood more than Pokemon video games. When I look at the box arts, it just reminds me of good times, hanging out with my friends, staying up late, eating pizza, trading Pokemon, collecting Pokemon, battling Pokemon. I mean, it was just all around good times, and I just absolutely love Pokemon video games. I still play them up into the modern day. I played Scarlet and Violet, probably have a couple hundred hours in that game. I played Sword and Shield. I did miss Sun and Moon and X and Y, so I'm sorry about that. But I did play all the way up through Black and White, and I think Black and White 2 is one of my favorite games for sure. But I thought it would be fun to showcase my Pokemon video games because honestly, I haven't shown you guys what I've been collecting over the past year or so. And I started with nothing and just sort of like gradually built onto a little bit of a collection. So it's kind of fun, and I figured I'd just show it off. And I'd love to hear about your collection and what maybe your favorite Pokemon game was, because we all have one. We all have favorites. So I'd love to hear about yours. All right, so starting things off, we have Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. All right, these are sealed. I did want to get all of my 3DS games sealed just because, I don't know, they're kind of affordable. Like, they're not too difficult to pick up. So there's a Pokemon X, which I really like Xerneas. I didn't play this game all the way through. I'm actually working through it right now on my 3DS. Yeah, this one's sealed, and I think I paid something like $75 to $100 for it. So it's, you know, it really is pretty reasonable. Like, if you're looking at Pokemon cards, for example, a cheap Pokemon card in a PSA 10 is like, you know, $50 to $100. So if you can pick up a sealed video game for that, you're doing pretty good. So there's the Pokemon X there, and then Pokemon Y, which I think was a little bit more popular. People tend to like Yveltal a little bit more, I think, but they're both pretty cool. And honestly, there's not really a legendary that I don't like. Anyway, those are Pokemon X and Y, the first video games I'm going to show you today. All right, similarly themed, and I've got Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon here. They are also sealed, so 3DS games. I got all these sealed. They really are pretty affordable. I'll stop saying that now. But anyway, these are just awesome. I love the color schemes. They look great on a shelf. But Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I didn't really connect with these games too much either, but I loved Sun and Moon era Pokemon cards. So it's kind of like, it's kind of nostalgic in a different way, like the season. This kind of like tipped off the modern era. The end of the Sun and Moon era is kind of when I really started getting back into Pokemon and kind of falling in love with it again. So it's you know, Sun and Moon era kind of holds a special place in my heart. So I wanted to pick these up, and yeah, they're pretty cool. All right, next up we have Omega Ruby. Okay, so we got Omega Ruby here. Another great game, and I'm actually working through this game right now, and it is a ton of fun. And we've got Alpha Sapphire. So these are kind of like, they're Ruby and Sapphire like remakes, but they take place in a timeline where Mega Evolutions exist, right? So it's a little different than your typical like Ruby and Sapphire timeline. So that's why you have the primal versions of Groudon and Kyogre. Just a great era. X and Y was a really cool era, which is actually when these were made. And if you are looking for sealed versions and you want to get like the US versions, just make sure, I think there's like a stamp right here, where if it says like World Edition, that's going to be like a lesser quality because people like to collect the US versions. There's all sorts of different versions and variants all over the world. So wherever you're from, you know, you can collect a 3DS version of Pokemon game, probably. But yeah, these are sealed up. Love the classic, just classic artwork, man. It's really nice. Watercolors, beautiful artwork on the back of these. And yeah, it just brings back good times. And I doubt these are all that expensive right now. Maybe you could pick them up for $100 or less, honestly, for a sealed copy. And then you just get yourself a nice acrylic case like this. You can get an acrylic case for like 20 bucks. I'll drop a link in the description of this video so you can see what acrylic cases I have. But yeah, they look really good, and you actually can put like a little seal on it, right? So you can kind of tape it right there. And if you were to like peel this off, it actually like says void, void, void all over it. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's not like the most safest thing ever, but it's pretty cool. So yeah, these are pretty sick. I really do like these a lot. And there you go. Coming up next, we actually have one of my favorite Pokemon games of all time, and it's Pokemon White 2. And I don't really have any preference between Black and White 2. necessarily. I just like White Kyurem a lot. I think White Kyurem looks cooler. And this is the one that I played. So I actually played White 2 when I was in college. So yeah, awesome watercolors there. You've got all the description on the back here. It looks so awesome. I mean, this game was sweet. This game was absolutely sick. I remember getting a Lucario in this game and really falling in love with playing Lucario. Between Lucario and Emboar, I mean, you could just like, you could light everyone up. There's a lot of steel types in these games, so you can really do pretty well against them. I would say this is probably like a top 3 Pokemon game for me. That's why I wanted to pick this one up here, and eventually I'll get Black 2 as well. These aren't like super investable per se, like they're really good collectibles, but they're not like gonna shoot up in value like crazy over time. Like especially as compared to cards, you're gonna see a lot higher values for their respective aging. Not like that really matters anyway. All right, so this I have is a gold version. Okay, so this is a gold WATA 8.5. This is a complete in box. I actually picked this complete in box up for like $300 a couple, I guess it was like a year and a half ago, something like that. And I did send it to WATA and got it graded up just because the cardboard boxes, like honestly, you can just get acrylic and throw them in an acrylic. But if you ever want to sell it, it is nice to have it graded because what they'll actually say here is they'll say matching components right here. And it just helps the buyer who might not be as informed about like the booklet has to match the E, right? Like everything's got to match, right? And if it doesn't match, then it will actually say IMP, or I think it's in not married parts or something like that. And yeah, so matching components is what you want to see when you're buying these. Gives you the details of the grade, 8.5, 8, 9.6, and 8.5. So like the cart is the cart is an 8, but the manual's a 9.6. It doesn't much matter to me. I'm just gonna keep this forever anyways. But yeah, I love looking at these old watercolor artworks. Oh, so sick. This actually brings me back. I played this in 4th grade, and I had an awesome time playing this. I got it for my birthday in October, and I went to a retreat center with my family, and we like both, like my brother had silver and I had gold. It was just a good time, man. It was so good. So anyway, pretty cool. Next up, we have Pokemon Red. Okay, so and this is also an 8.5. So this one says no country pixelated manual. I think that means that it's like, it's a slightly different manual. It's not like a different one from what would come with this, but it's not like all the same type of manual. This is a white E version. You can buy black E version reds. One day I'll get one of those too, but yeah, so a red version. This is just, you know, classic game. I mean, who didn't play this growing up? What I really liked about this copy is the cart was a 9.4. So I know that in this box is a really minty version of red. So it's just a, I mean, dude, look at that thing. Who doesn't want to see that on a shelf? It's Charizard, dude. Sick. It's really cool. I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's pretty cool. And the last game that I have is this 9.0 Emerald. This is probably my favorite Pokemon game. I love Hoenn. Actually, I don't know, it's toss up. Like I love all 3 of the games, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. And Emerald green's my favorite color. I love Rayquaza, so I don't know. Emerald's got like a special place in my heart. I went to go grab this with my brother when we were growing up, like go buy it from a store called Fred Meyer. We like rode our bikes to the store, and he wore like a motorcycle helmet on a just typical like BMX bike. So I just kind of always remember that. It's just a kind of funny thing. But anyway, yeah, really cool. I love the graphic on that, like that holographic, like shattered emerald look. It's super sick. This is like one of the most attractive boxes of any game. You put this on a shelf, you know, you're going to be loving it. It's a beautiful game. It's a really good copy of this game too. The cart's an 8.0. So if I did replace the cartridge, I could actually improve the overall grade. But yeah, to have like, you know, a 9.2 and a 9.2, this is just, it's a fantastic copy of this. And you know, it's complete in box, right? I don't have the money to buy the sealed stuff right now. That is, if the sealed stuff, you know, ever comes down in price, then I'll start buying them. But for now. I mean, complete in box is great. It still looks great on a shelf. Like, who cares? Who cares? It doesn't have to be sealed. Like, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars extra just to have plastic on the box if it's going to be in a plastic box anyways. All right, that's all I have for you guys today, and let me know what you guys think of my collection. I'd love to hear about your collections and whether or not you guys collect video games. I know it's kind of a thing that some people do, some people don't. Some people are just exclusive cards. Some people collect a little bit of both. I love the games. I really do enjoy the games. I still love to play them, so I'm looking to collect all of them. I'm trying to get all of the Pokemon games. You know, one way or another, it's going to happen. That's all I have for you guys. Thanks so much for coming today. And if you want to watch something else that I did this week, where we opened some Pokemon 151 to make sure it was authentic, then click the video right here. It's right here, and we'll see you over there.